Hey there guys, welcome back to Squee-El's gaming channel. It's been a little bit, but we're going to get back into some Valheim today because the Mistlands update just dropped recently. It's a pretty sizable little update. It is free to all players, and like usual, we're pretty much just going to dive right into it. This is, in front of me here, this is kind of the location I picked. So I'm going to show you guys something on the map real quick. This is where I'm at right here, this little yellow dot. So if I zoom out of the map, this is the whole map. I'm way over here. And if you guys watched my previous video when I was showing off all my builds, you might remember some of these other locations, some of these bases. I haven't linked anything up yet. I haven't built my teleporter yet. Still fairly early in the build, so we're going to get to do all that in this video. But I wanted to show you guys, if you look in the upper right of the map there, it says, like if I put it over here in the water, it says ocean. That's like your description of the environment that you're currently hovering your cursor over. So if you go over here, see there's a little bit of Mistlands, there's plains, there's a mountain, black forest, but you want Mistlands because that's the new update. So Mistlands are generally going to be like this purplish, blackish fog type area. And flying around via mods, so don't mind me. But when you find Mistlands, they're generally going to be like this. It's going to be a misty area, very hard to see anything. There are these little lights you can place to help you see. I'll show you guys more of that later. There's a lot of stuff kind of hidden in the Mistlands. There's like these roots here that you can mine. New resources such as these here. There's a new dungeon, which we might get to in this video. I don't normally do the Valheim dungeons, but another cool thing is these. These are kind of all over the place. You'll find these little dwarven forts, kind of, which I think you can fight them if you make them mad, but I think they're too cool to go up against. I'd rather have them on my side, so they've got these kind of little bases all over the Mistlands, and they're sort of just held up here against various different creatures. This is kind of the main new hostile creature. It's like a giant floating tick that'll kind of shoot these little balls and minis and stuff. It doesn't always seem to want to attack, but they might be going for them. I don't know. We'll see. And then there's the other creature that's kind of the new theme. These guys actually, they don't swim very fast, but they do swim. It's kind of like a giant bug, armored bug type thing. But you can see conflicts kind of breaking out here. The ticks attacking. Dwarves are fighting off all these creatures. Dwarves have fighters and mages, so they're pretty cool. And they usually have a ward by their base, so looks like they are going to war here. That's pretty cool. But that's, I wanted to have some of these nearby, so there'd always kind of be some carnage near my base. This is another kind of dwarven base, but as you can see, this one's been overrun with bugs. Gonna head back over here to my base though. I may head out into the Mistlands later in the video here to try and attempt one of those dungeons I mentioned, but it's not currently really the plan. Kind of forgot where my base is here. I gotta go back towards the water. Here it is. I need to place a marker on the map actually. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this place. Let me get right above it real quick. I'll give you guys the tour before I got a few more things I gotta put in here. So basically this little island right here. So definitely want to add a pin or something. Ping, remove pin, make trigger, cross off pin, add pin. Right now I'm just going to call it base because I can't quite think of what I want to call it right now. I think I had something picked out. It's sort of funny because when I first got to this base, there's another little dwarven fortress right here, so real close to my base here. There was another one here. It's a really small one, but they had like a dock, but they got attacked by some of those spider drones we just saw. And it wasn't a very big base anyway, but they actually got all cleared out. So I'm wondering if they're going to respawn. Their ward being here is kind of a pain because I can't build a ward. It's not really the end of the world, but this is kind of my base. It's sort of just a castle on the hill here. It's got a majestic tree up top. It's multi-level. I got a dock here with some ships ready to go because obviously you're going to need to sail around, even though I plan on just cheating all the time and being able to fly everywhere. But figured it'd be good to have some boats, even if just for appearance. And it made more sense when they had a dock, but that was before they kind of got the siege while I was building the castle. But you get over here, and I had to do some weird stuff to get a stairwell up to where like the main level of the base is. So it's a little ugly. It's not my prettiest base, but it also is kind of a little more complex than some of my other Valheim bases because I didn't go as hard on the building in this game since it's a little more simplistic, but I was able to make it work. But there are many new things in this new update. First off, you got like this bear trap here, which you can get caught in your own bear trap, but I just wanted to show it to you guys. Then you can reset it at any point in time. You do have some new barricades. There were barricades before, but you have these specific ones now. These are the two types. There's like the spiky ones and then the actual wall ones, which I use to pretty much fortify this whole part of the island, so I'm kind of isolated here. I'm gonna reset my trap there. There's also a ballista, which you need to load with missiles, which I haven't crafted any missiles yet, so we might get to that in this video. And then here's like the new type of resources. This is the Yggdrasil wood, and this is the like black marble, which is what I built the base out of. It's like this black stone here, the black marble, which is one of the new building materials, so I figured I'd use it in the base. But I kind of just threw a couple things out front here. This is the new light, the wisp torch. I placed a couple of these just to keep my area clear here, but I'm right on the edge of the Mistlands area. I had to look around for a while to find a perfect spot. It was kind of a hard decision, but this ended up being pretty cool. Normally I would just kind of fly up there, but I wanted to take the stairs. I've actually finished all this. I may add some slight additions to this base later, but right now I'm kind of done with the base itself. I just need to fill it. So there's like, they always have holiday stuff, but I think they added more Christmas stuff. And by the time I post this video, it'll be getting pretty close. So I figured this was appropriate. Although I don't know if I'm gonna put out a Christmas tree. I might, but there's a new raven totem thing. Get in here, and this is probably going to be where I have my main portal. I have two spots I might put my portal right now, but we've got this kind of main room here. It has a stairwell here that leads up to a second floor, and I did something to kind of try and make like a cool window type thing, and I think it turned out pretty good. But I got the bed up here for spawning and some storage, and I'm not sure what else I'm going to put in here. I'm going to probably make it pretty chill. But we're going to look through. There's some new furniture items. There's all kinds of new stuff. For a free update, this is a pretty beefy expansion. But before we start building, the one other part of this base is there's this massive stairwell. Now, honestly, I probably will rarely use this because I'll just fly up there. I mean, even in the best of circumstances, it just takes a minute to walk up here. But I'm a little sloppy in my building, and sometimes I get lazy. And yeah, as you can see right here, like that. Just a random piece I stuck in the way at some point. Whoops, and then I gotta fall. But yeah, so these stairs are kind of a pain to get up, but you can, if you have to, you can get up to the top via this big old staircase. And then you get up here, and there's like a secondary part of the staircase, unfortunately, which I had to do because it wouldn't let me build one staircase tall enough to reach the top here, so it forced me to make two. It was a complicated, annoying process, but we got it done. I might do a little bit more with the top here. This is kind of just my last little area. There's the second portal. This has got a pretty cool view. I tend to often favor like high places when I'm building bases, so not sure what I'm going to put up here yet. I might just leave it like this and then have maybe one or two things out here. Or I might try to build like a small little roof for at least part of this. But as you can see, there's like this cool tree right here at the top. And I'm almost at the top of this little mountain, but that little tip is so thin, I figured this was the best way to make a platform big enough to do a little bit on. But that's pretty much that. The main thing I'm going to focus on first in this video is you kind of see most of the stuff's the black marble. There were a few new fence pieces. Like this one here, this design is a new actual fence. Before they just had like a regular bar fence like this. So that's pretty much it on the building. I'll pull out my hammer here. I've got unlimited crafting stuff on, so I'm going to be able to make whatever I want. There's a cartography table here, which this is pretty huge. I'm going to need a little bit of everything. Honestly, this base probably isn't going to be big enough for what I need. I think if anything, I'm going to go upstairs real quick here. Use just some of the basic furniture because I know I can get through that pretty quick. Then we'll see what's going on with all the crafting. There's some crafting. Get this. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Whatever that is. Lots of new stuff. Well, there's plenty more to do there, but... that's about it. It's been a minute since I played. I guess for the wisp fountain, I don't want to put it. The only other thing left is there's a new throne here. Black marble throne. That you certainly want to throw down. Put that right here. There we go. And leave. Yeah, if you come outside here, there's some rural weather. We just kind of caught a little bit of some crazy rain, but there's like crazy lightning. There it goes. I did notice it once before, so I'm glad that I actually got some of that in this video. Yeah, it's awesome. I love that. It's a pretty cool DLC, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty happy. We had a long wait for it, but it's finally available. And I'm not playing on the public test server, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. This is officially launched. The public test server got it about 2 weeks before it held out until it actually came out. The bird wants to say. And well, it attracts wisps. We've already got a few here. So the wisps are dancing. So I can pick one up, basically. There we go. So I thought maybe the wisp would be able to follow you around. But you can use the wisp to create those things right down there that I'm looking for. I like that. It's all awesome. It's probably like my coolest Valheim base. This black castle in this misty area. So, this dwarf allies over there. It's a neighborhood. Only accessible by sea here. What's cool about this? But that's what the little wisp fountain does there. We've kind of blaze through most of the new stuff. Since I kind of got the castle built, it's been pretty easy to save a lot of time. But, let's see. I still need to place this table. There was a table and chair that was in place earlier, so put a table like back here. Under this space. There we go. And then we'll take that black marble bench that was in place upstairs, because I'm at like my building room or whatever. There's a bench. So we got through, now we got through some of those. So I believe that's it for the new items. For the Mistlands update, just double checking. I put the sap extractor outside, but I'm probably not going to use anything, honestly. Got some green torches. It's kind of like a longer distance look at everything. I did even put a light up there. So they left behind their lights over there with the wolves that got destroyed. I guess I'll just put something up here. Maybe like a big tip of this thing, if it'll let me. About the building, that's it. I need to name the base at some point, which I'll come up with that later. And I need to get my teleporters linked. I forgot what the name of the extra teleporter that I have was that I was going to link to this base, so I might have to, off camera, just like fly myself all the way over the ocean again to my other base and get this teleporter linked up to my main one so I can travel back and forth freely. This base and my others, even though I'll probably spend most of my time in this base from now on. But I got all the new stuff placed, so before I set out in the Mistlands, the only other thing really to do here would be to last minute decorate, like if I wanted to place anything else. Put this on one of the tables back here. I feel like maybe just put a few things on this table. Just stand for a mug. Which, I forget where you get a mug from. I might have to craft one. Yeah, I have a mug in one of my other little houses, so I've done it before. I have a big keg and whatnot, but I don't think I'm going to do that at this base. This base is kind of just my little hideaway. Really, I don't really feel the need to put a whole lot here. I guess this little refinery I do want to put somewhere. I forgot about this, because I think this might be new, it might not, but the thing is it's not going to fit really, I think, in my base anywhere. Now we can actually go to our building stuff here. this is a new item. Sorry, line stuff up. Item. I don't have any processed light. Well, I guess it's for certain resources, which comes in help with crafting, but since I'm kind of cheating, I don't really need to craft a whole lot. But with that being there like that, that forces me to sort of rearrange how I had fortifications. I don't want anything swimming up. I had a little armored bug guy that was left over from the siege on the dwarven base over there. He just kind of hung out and swam around over there for a while, but then after quite some time, he finally did make his way over here to me and started kind of trying to attack my boats and whatnot, so I had to take care of him, and it was annoying because he's kind of he takes a lot of damage since he's so armored up. Spikes. That's down there. That is about it. That's kind of the space now. So, let me see here. Sure. I could upgrade some stuff a little bit more. And, like one or two things I could still do with the base here. But, I think what I'm actually going to do, we're going to test out some magic now, and then I'm going to go hit up one of these dungeons. So let's get some magic stuff quick. Got a staff of protection there. I actually want to see what this is. What is number 5? Yeah, that's like a staff. It's kind of like a new weapon. I guess it's a spear of sorts. It's got a block. It's got a poke move. Gonna see if these guys were up to anything here. Seems like these guys have a better chance of holding on to other dwarves. I believe they have lost a few. They got a bunch of people upstairs here. These guys are pretty much bananas here. Hopefully they'll make it. They got a nice little fortified location here. Sort of weird to get to. I can easily sail over at any time. Sucks that we lost these guys though. But let's go into the mist. So let's just kind of drop in somewhere random here for a second. See. Not see, it's pretty crazy. Let's take a little wispy thing and place it. Watch this. Boom. You can see now. So really, if I wanted to go around and just kind of place these all over the place, I could really kind of clear up a space. Which I might do at some point. I could totally see another reason to build another base at some point if I wanted, but I'd rather wait for them to see if they add more content or something. But you could use these little lights to really clear up pretty much any part of this map, really. So I wanted to show you guys that's how you use that. That's what you collect those wisps for, that I have the thing for back at base. Here we go. Now this is where the sap extractor actually comes in. It is. Chicken. See if I can just like spam a bunch of these. Alright. Wait. They're all still at 0 out of 10, so I'm wondering how long this takes. Oh, this one has 1. I can take that now. So it takes a minute, I guess. I wanted to try and summon something. I have 1. I guess that's not enough to do anything. Done a few things. Guess I could try out the lantern. That staff's pretty awesome, I won't lie. There is this new mist sword as well. Guess we'll go ahead and try this sword. Yeah, the sword actually clears the mist. It's alright. It's actually, these guys are pretty tough. I like to just use the sword, just walk around the sword and clear everything out. Got several different ways to clear the mist. But the sword doesn't permanently clear it. Well, kind of stuff on the stage. So it's definitely got a trophy. Maybe that's what I need to have in my base. There we go. Look at all this sap we're getting. Now we gotta actually pick it up, apparently. Whoops, I didn't do that the first time. It says the ancient roots glow is fading, which I guess means there's a limit to what I can get from this tree. Fell down here somewhere. Fortunately, I believe I've lost that one. Yep. Well, darn. Yeah. This whole route's probably gonna drain soon then. Well, the point of it all is to test these staffs. So this is the staff for protection. Let's try this now. Still saying I don't know enough. I have 12. Alright, I have to take the sap actually back to base and convert it to what I need for the magic. So let's see 5 here. Equipping the lantern. The lantern doesn't really clear the mist actually. Just something that helps you see in the dark. Makes torches obsolete, I guess. But yeah, I thought it would help with the mist, but it does not, so that's good to know. Got 2 other staffs too to equip, ice and fire staff, so I would imagine, yep, that's the ice one, this is the fire one. Those are probably more like offensive spells. This tree still hasn't given up yet, so I guess I'm just gonna have to probably do a little time skip here. I was sort of unprepared for the magic part of the video. I didn't realize I was going to have to do all this, so apologies. So the other thing I need is soft tissue, apparently, to get the resource I need. So it turns out you actually have to fight some of these guys, so I'm choosing some of the ones farther away from my base. that I've got plenty of sap, and I have collected a little bit of soft tissue from all those poor dwarves. I can throw some stuff in the refinery. And it's a good thing I built that, because that stuff is supposed to give me the resource that I need in order to use magic. So I'm not sure. There we go. Oh, you gotta put both resources. Sap goes in here and flesh goes up there. Soft tissue. And it's gonna churn, do its thing here. And it's gonna create this resource that I need to use. Probably won't get a whole lot because I didn't have a whole lot of soft tissue, but should be this right here. Spit my resources and drop them. So with that now, I hope it doesn't take more than like one per spell. I'm assuming it takes one soft tissue and looks like one sap, so one of each. It's easier to get the sap, I'd say. Just gotta find the root, which means I'll have to stockpile a bit of resources if I want to keep using magic, but I'm trying just to mainly show you guys how to do this. It was kind of a little rough process here figuring out how to do the magic. It kind of caught me by surprise. It's a bit different for sure. We're going to get this finished here, and I'm going to go actually cast some spells now. So here we have one of the new dungeons. I guess this is a great way to test out the magic. I haven't done one of these yet. I'm probably not going to go all the way to the end of it, just because apparently these are somewhat easy to get lost in, but this is an infested mine. There is actually a new boss to this as well. Not in the mine, but just like a new world boss. There were 5 bosses in the base game, and they actually not sure if I'm going to get to that or not. Jeez, you guys are annoying. So I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty brutal. I probably would have died if I didn't have heat. Pretty gross. A bunch of bugs and stuff in there, so it kind of grosses me out. So I'm just gonna leave. The unfortunate part of all that, whoops, is that I realized that I still somehow don't have enough of a resource to do magic. I have 5 of them, but whenever I go try to cast a spell, it's telling me that resources required. This is another great way to get the flesh. So I'm in one of their little camps here. These guys are definitely going to attack me, but once I get one of the refiners off of them, I will mine this bone, and that should give me more soft flesh. But we got to clear the camp first. Open up their chest. There's one of those little fire things that I need. Okay. Okay, so I had to do a little bit of research to get the magic completely down. But I've done a little bit more running around, killing dwarves, gathering the resource, so we're going to finally get to some magic. Before we set out again, there is a chair right there. That's part of that was added with the update. I forgot to throw that in earlier. And then I dropped off my old armor there, hung up some trophies I got, that head there, and then these things here, another head, and some weird thing I got from the dwarves. And a horn, a drinking horn. Got my base connected to my original base finally. So there's that portal, and then I've got this portal here, which is going to take us to the boss. So there's two things left in this video. I'm going to show you magic and then the boss. Although I'm not sure yet if I'm going to fight the boss the legit way or not. We'll have to find out. Assuming it's these bars that are keeping me from teleporting. So this is, I happened to put on this area just by chance when I was searching the area initially, trying to find a good spot to build a base. This is where the new boss is located, behind this door here. And it's locked, but you can open it with a seal breaker, which I just did here. And that's what this little sign thing would tell you if you tried to read it. Now a seal breaker is this thing right here. There's a whole process to get these. Unfortunately, as a lot of you probably know, my videos aren't exactly like walkthroughs, so I'm not going to cover every step on how to get that. I'm just kind of showing off gameplay and exploring the content for the first time myself. But before we go in there and fight that boss, I just kind of wanted to show you guys this little cool area. It's like, this was already just built like this, and it's using a lot of the marble, black marble stuff, so I repaired a lot of it up, and I can either like destroy it or build on it if I want to, no problem. So that's why I built this portal here. And in addition to that, I also figured out that there are two new sets of armor. And I was right about the one I was suspecting earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and put two little things right here, because I probably will kind of use this as like a secondary base, even though the boss is inside there. It's like a little doorway, so the boss won't come out here. And the only way in was this little doorway down here, which I already built a gate to wall off, as you guys can see there. So this place is actually pretty secure, all things considered. Put the staff back, so I have all the staffs in place. We're going to play with some magic real quick before I go fight this boss. But these are the two new outfits. I'll come back and look at them during the day. I mainly think this magic one is sick. In fact, I made an extra one and put it in the storage back at base because I saw these online. That's how I figured out they were new. So they're pretty cool. We'll look at them again in the light here. But before I move on, I'm just going to come down here and play with some magic. The only reason I couldn't use the skeleton thing is because I haven't killed anybody with it. But the fireball is pretty cool. Let's check out the ice. There's other things you can cast it on. I actually really like that, to be honest. So you gotta have some foods. So I've pretty much just been using the stuffed mushrooms and one of the other ones. The hoping. Not sure how skeletons work. The main one I want to mess with. Suck in my blood. Just hoping I could revive a friend or whatever. Well, that's a darn shame. And that just leaves this staff, which created a little shield, but didn't really seem to help me with this guy. So yeah. So the only one I have to try left is this, which I'm hoping I can use that before the end of this video, but since there's nothing for me to kill, then we're going to go ahead and do the next thing now, which is for me to go see what this dragon lady's like. It's queen. I don't know if it's a dragon. I think it might be an insect. Insect dragon, I don't know. Should be. Oh, of course it's Misty. This video has been a little bit all over the place and pretty disorganized, even a little bit incomplete by the time I'm done with this, because I'm not going to be able to summon skeletons, and we're going to put a bookmark in this in a minute. But I wanted to discuss one more thing before I close this out in my first experience here in Mistlands. There is like a chicken breeding and a fishing activity that's been added. I have no interest in fishing, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start a little chicken coop in the ruins across the river here. So the first thing you need is the merchant here, Halder, who you can normally find him on the map. I believe I covered him in the previous video. Hopefully if you've been playing the game this long, you're already familiar with him. You can either find him in the environment or spawn him by typing in spawn Halder, his name there, and he pops up in front of you. Now, he's already got a couple items here. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy the fishing rod and a little bit of fishing bait just to try that. Maybe we'll go ahead and see what that's about. I don't know where you fish. If you can just fish anywhere. I have seen fish swimming around, but what we need here is an egg. And I already bought one. I'm going to go ahead and buy a second one just because I imagine you might need at least two to get this started. But I'm going to go over here and use this ruined little dwarven base here as kind of like my chicken coop. Now you have to build it a certain way for it to work. So the first thing I'm going to do is, just for the sake of protecting the chickens here, well, never mind. I was going to say I'm going to try to build a doorway, but this may not actually work because I forgot about that ward there. It won't let me build as long as there is the ward. So I might not be able to use that little space here for a chicken coop. Yeah, I can't. So I'm going to have to move. But you need a basic bonfire to get started with your chicken coop. So it's kind of inconvenient that it won't let me do it there because I don't know if I can attach a chicken coop to this base exactly. So what I'm going to do, I guess, is I'm going to go back to my boss base, and we're going to have some chickens over there. So now that we're back here, I'm just probably going to try and cram a tiny little chicken coop into the side over here, and then once the chickens start breeding, I'll release them and probably just have them wandering around this base. So this little fancy fort here will just kind of be a glorified outpost slash chicken breeding ground, so I don't have to do too much more building. But before I get to that, I have killed the queen, so technically now I got the trophy for her as well. I think I'm going to hang that up in this base just to be extra taunting, you know, in the base where the queen was. There's going to be this big old, just her head hanging on the wall somewhere here. So I'm assuming I'm probably going to need a decent amount of space for her head, which is this right here. Go ahead and see if I can place it. Yep, there it is. There is the queen's massive head. Right here is where the queen's lair is. Okay, so back to the chicken coop. But anyway, what you're going to do here is let's just build, let's say right about here maybe. I'm going to put a fire right there. And then you kind of have to box it in. I've seen a couple different things online, so I don't know if there's like a for sure way to do this, but it seems like basically what you want to do is like kind of just completely box it in. I don't think you necessarily have to build a roof. The roof would probably help, but I don't think it's a requirement. There, put that there, and I'm going to destroy this. I'm going to make this like a little gate, doorway type thing. And then there, for the moment, this is my tiny little makeshift chicken coop. I gotta put more wood in to get this fire going. So let me grab what's around here, I guess. So the chicken egg is saying that I can't grow it in a stack. So you gotta have the eggs separate, I imagine. It says too cold, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to box it in a little bit more. We'll try a roof. Let's try boxing it in until it says it's fine. There, it says it's warm. So I don't know if it needs to be more than that, like more than warm. So I'm going to box it in just a little bit more, just in case. It's kind of a goofy looking little contraption, but hopefully this will work on the egg. You can see how it's warm, so I could go ahead and like throw the other egg in there, I guess. The fire needs a little more wood. Now there should be 2 eggs in here, kind of in the back, incubating. So that's pretty much all there is to chicken coop. I'm gonna go ahead and close it up so they'll be kind of stuck in here, and I'll just have to come back to this at some point and see how the chickens are developing. I think I maybe have a chicken or 2 running around in a previous base that I just kind of, I don't remember if I spawned them or what happened, but we all know what chickens are like. You can use them for food and to lay more eggs and whatnot. Apparently they repopulate like rabbits, so keep that in mind. But this is going to be my chicken base, and that's about where I'm going to call it on this video. There's not a whole lot more to say other than The only other thing that we didn't get to touch on is the skeleton. I couldn't summon any skeletons, which I figured out what's wrong with that. You need 100 of your little magic bar. It takes a little bit of blood energy or your health to summon a skeleton, which isn't a big deal, but you need 100 of the energy, the magic, so to speak, that you get from eating the foods there that I have at the top in sections 4 and 6. And right now my max is 100, so I'm thinking what's going on with me is I have to raise my blood magic level, which the only way I can do that is through by using the other spells and just increasing my overall blood magic level over time. See how it's that's about where it's at right now, so I need to get it much higher so that I can have more magic at once, and then I can summon skeletons. I'm really kind of bummed I'm not going to have any gameplay for the skeletons, but they are limited time summon. They're little minions that follow you around and fight. You can't actually rename them, even though they're a limited time summon, but if you just want a temporary named homie, that's an option for you. And if you have the rune table equipped to the crafting station that you build your staves at, you can actually summon 2 skeletons at a time, so keep all that in mind. But that's really all I've got for this one, guys. Sorry this video was a little hectic, not my most organized video, but there was a lot of content here, much more than I expected, and it's been a blast. I've put a lot of time into this video already, so that's kind of why I'm calling it quits a little early here. And we've pretty much got some Conan Exiles content for me to cover next, so I'm pretty much diving right into the next game of this very same genre, so expect more building and all that in the future. And as always, guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, that always helps me out, and thanks for watching, everybody. I will catch you in the next one.